Today we're looking for garnets and agates in Southern California. Pretty cool. Okay, here's what the terrain looks like. We're rockhounding in Southern California, just maybe like an hour north of LA. And already we're finding a first sign of garnet. You see those red spots in there? That is garnet.
So I'm already finding some garnets out here, which is really interesting. I mean, I came out here for agates, so that's a plus.
Now these are pretty well formed. They got some nice size to them. It's not like perfectly crystalline in form because it's probably been broken off, of course. But just finding these is a good sign.
Gemstones tend to occur within groups because of the geological conditions that allow them to grow. So if you find garnets, you might also look around for mica, and there's a good chance that tourmaline might be around there too.
And that's because we're finding this stuff in pegmatite. This is pegmatite. It's kind of like a soupy mix of different rocks and crystals. It's usually white, and there's a lot of quartz in it as well. Pegmatite is known as nature's jewelry box because there's so many other crystals that can be found in.
So I found some interesting green crystals here, but I'm not sure if it's fluorite or just a chromite stained quartz. But it is in pegmatite. There's like some feldspar in there too. So I guess it kind of tracks.
I've been to this spot a couple times looking for agate, and I've never actually found garnet before, so this was kind of cool. I thought I'd make a quick video of it. So now we're back on the path. We're trying to get that agate, and you'll notice that the terrain is kind of flat here. We want to get off of this. We want to get down into the valleys, into the gullies, where the rain's going to wash the rocks down. And our first sign of agate right here is a really nice sign. Check it out. It's almost like a geode. I also found some coyotes out in the trail since it was kind of close to dusk when I went out. And that was actually a first for me for seeing coyotes out in the wild. They're usually fine. They're more afraid of you than you should be of them. Okay, now as you can see, I'm down in the valley. I'm down kind of in the brush in what is a dry stream bed, and that's where we're going to find our best stuff because that's what's going to tumble down from the hills in the rain. And already we're finding some nice white chalcedony. I'm cracking these open, and we got some interesting crystals in the middle right there. Now these are great examples of what you can find all over Southern California and the desert. They're white, they're clear, but what we're looking for is a little bit more personality. Maybe some fortification bands, maybe some other coloring inside. But now this one right here, this could really be exciting because you can see some of that green coming out on the side, mixing in with the white agate.
And because the host rock of this agate is green, some of it can seep inside and actually create moss patterns. And that's why I like agates so much, because they've got so much personality. If you pull a quartz crystal point out of the ground, you know what you're going to get. You know what it's going to look like. But an agate could look like anything inside.
And my biggest find of the day was this thing right here. You can see that vein of clear chalcedony. That is a good sign. This is something that I want to dig out. And as I'm digging, I can tell that this is kind of bigger than I thought it was going to be. So whenever you're digging a larger agate out of the ground, in order to avoid cracking it in half, you always want to dig around, find the contours of it, and then kind of like alternate with your rock pick and your hand. Get rid of the excess dirt around it, and then try to pry. And then just alternate back and forth with those two things until the thing comes out of the ground. I'm going to just fast forward to the end here, and of course I did get it out of the ground. I'm looking forward to taking that home, cutting it in half, and seeing what's inside. Okay, I'm going to keep hiking along because what I really came for is this hill right here. This hill is the hill that I know has tons of agates in it because there's just tons of agate all around at the bottom, at the base, that have rolled down. And these aren't just clear white agates. Like, check this out. This has got some personality to it. That's something I want to take home.
So what's interesting is just like around this hill right here, on this hillside where you can find all the agates. I've also found some amethyst here. Not much, but it is here.
Okay, so this is that giant chunk that I found in the ground. We're actually going to do a little exploring here. I'm gonna take a hammer to it, I think, first because it's a little too large. I want to get rid of the excess rhyolite and cut right straight into the agate. However, after I chop it into smaller pieces, I realized that chalcedony vein was only skin deep, so that one's going to be a dud. Which is too bad, because that has some nice size to it, and I found some really nice stuff here. But anyways, don't worry. After cutting open a few of the smaller nodules that I found, check it out. There's the character, there's the color, there's the banding. That's pretty cool.